talking while he's out there, so I'm whispering. Hopefully he'll leave so I don't have to whisper anymore. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was, well, my purse. Okay, so first, this is an odd one. A tea packet. Okay, you never know when you're gonna need some tea, specifically green tea. So I keep a pack on me because I can't drink coffee because it makes me feel, well, funny. My lip oil. This is better than the next one, I have to say. It's smoother. Your lips feel hydrated. I like it. I don't know if you guys see it well. I got this at Marshall's for like $3 to $4. Pretty good. My bag. Well, so I have my little travel kit perfume. I always keep perfume in my bag because I always want to smell good and fresh. And this is the Backcrack Rouge dupe. Let me know if you guys want to know where I got that from because it's a great dupe. You might have already heard of it, but I love it. And then, what else do I have? I think this was like a Juicy Couture. Oh, it is. Juicy Couture eyeglass wipe. I got when I was like 10 or 12. No, I must have been 9. My best friend got glasses and I like wanted glasses too. It's a long story, but they gave me this and I was so happy. I lost my Ray-Ban one, so now I'm using this one. So yeah, I've had this since, well, for a long time. And that is what's in my purse besides my wallet. Yeah. Now for some real talk. Now time for the serious talk. Also, I'm probably gonna wait a little bit because my brother's definitely gonna tell my other brother and they're gonna talk and they're gonna have some material for me tomorrow. I can't give them any more material. Okay, so real talk. What I want to talk about today is, I think, authenticity. Authenticity. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and today I was feeling a little odd about starting out. I felt like, oh, I want this to do this and I wanted to do it that way, blah 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 blah. But then I was like, you know, I want to be my best self ultimately. Excuse me for stuttering. And I don't know who else to be, you know, and if I became that person who I think somewhere in my mind that people wanted me to be, I wouldn't feel very happy. I'd feel kind of empty. I think we all could probably relate to that. So I'm kind of going off the cuff here. I had a whole like essay written about a whole nother topic, but this was on my mind and I could probably touch in on that topic, which was mostly about rejection. and how to deal with it. So let me know if you guys are interested in that topic. But just for now, it's authenticity, which I think I've talked about before. However, I will touch on both topics. So, authenticity, right? You feel like you're real. You're not living in this plastic world, this plastic society. Your feet are on the ground, you know? And how to tell when you're not being real with yourself? Well, you don't feel connected. You feel depleted. You feel like your energy is gone. You feel stuck. You feel like you're not enough almost, right? Because you're always searching for something. And oftentimes it's in other people or other things, or even like substance abuse. So I think the best way you can do or reconnect to yourself is being quiet with yourself and connecting to your heart and to God. For me, it's always God. He always connects me to my heart because He is my heart in a lot of ways. No, He is. I'm sorry. No doubt about it. And I think finding a quiet place and reflecting on your whys and your hows will really help you get there. Another, I think, example that could help would probably be, besides examining your conscience and your day, speaking your truth. I think, you know, a lot of times we beat ourselves up for being vulnerable, and when things don't go the way we want, and we end up like, oh, like, I'm guilty of this all the time, you know. But I think patting yourself on the back and knowing you're capable of expressing yourself, and I don't think you should regret that at all. I think you should actually pat yourself on the back and good job, Timmy or Teresa. And then on the topic of rejection, which being authentic while being rejected and knowing who you are, it's once you know who you are, it's never easy. Let me just put that straight. To be rejected, it's gonna hurt, but I think knowing who you are, you're like, wow, this person doesn't see me in that light. I'm okay with that. Okay, well, I want someone who wants me, you know. I want that healthy relationship. I want that healthy friendship, and that connection with somebody. I was vulnerable with them and they didn't share that energy back. And you gotta trust yourself to be okay with that, you know. And I think, like, good on you, you're risking a lot, you know. You're overcoming something that you struggled with before. And so I don't think you should ever feel shame around that, or because somebody didn't return those feelings of affection or whatever, or that effort. I think you should know who you are and never let how somebody views you, right, or how you think they view you as a part of who you are, because it's not. You know, as long as you stay firm in who you are and I think what you believe, you'll be fine, right? And it's gonna hurt and it's gonna take time to get over it. It might take a couple weeks or longer. It all depends on how long you've been with this person or friendship or whatever. And then rejection in jobs or rejection in anything you're pursuing can be difficult because you become discouraged and you feel like, oh, well, that sucks, you know, and you feel kind of defeated. But it's important to have hope, you know, because, you know, they did studies. I was reading this book the other day about, or maybe it was a podcast, a Huberman podcast. It probably was. But these dogs, they kept getting zapped, right? And eventually they just gave up, right? And the study was like, they just accepted it, right? They accepted that it was always going to be like this. They're always going to be zapped. So I think as long as you have like a future in mind, you have a vision of what you want, and you keep that and you have hope towards that, you can always keep going. And it's hard because, you know, your body feels it, your mind feels it when you're working towards those goals. But I think as long as you have a healthy mindset and you cultivated that, you can do anything, knowing that that's your destination. And that's what I'm reworking on, you know. It used to come so naturally to me, and I'm rewiring all these mental links, you know, that and one thing I'm also going to work on is my filler words. I need to stop using okay. Toastmasters wouldn't like that if I ever joined them. But anyway, another topic I wanted to discuss was, you know, I'm going to look in my notes because that's a good idea. The chemical aspect of, I think, the feeling you feel when you get rejected, or any other feeling really, is probably that emotional response you get, right? Where you're like, oh, this sucks, you know? That is kind of all chemically habitual, right? And your body's going to want to repeat that over and over again. So oftentimes we actually look for a reason to be sad or a reason to feel rejected. So how we could probably analyze ourselves if we're doing that is, how often do we let ourselves feel rejected? You know, or how often do we come to these negative thoughts like, oh, I'm not enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, you know, and so on. How often do we let ourselves repeat it? And if you notice that, ask yourself, well, why am I getting these results? Why do I come to that conclusion that, well, I'm inadequate somehow, or that I feel this, oh, they were my everything, or this thing, this job, this whatever, this was everything, and I feel so rejected, blah, 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 so on. Why are you feeling that way, you know? And I think coming to the conclusion that, oh, that might come from a childhood trauma, where maybe you lacked affection or attention from one of your parents, or a person from your past. And healing that, I'm not gonna lie, is difficult, but I think being kind to yourself, you can start there. I think seeing yourself in a new light, for instance, getting in touch with your heart, that helps so much, I think, change the brain. Oddly, for me, I always was so in tune with my heart. It was so easy for me to imagine the things I wanted, and then things that I thought were possible. And I think it can't just be all in here, right? I think it's here to here. I don't think it's here to here. You know, I think here to here, it's first. So I'd suggest doing some meditations, Dr. Joe Dispenza, of course, and just sitting quietly with yourself, or in church, in adoration, or just somewhere quiet in nature with a journal where you can discuss with yourself. And then, of course, change, permanent change. I think changing the people you hang around. How do they think? You know, are they pitying themselves? Are they people who constantly look for validation? And are you going to keep in mind that you are the 5 people you hang out with, basically? So notice the habits of your friends, and if they're self-loathing, if they're, you know, which is okay to do sometimes, like we're all guilty of it, but you want to see if the things that they hold close to their hearts is something you want to as well. So if they value like a man's validation, or they want to get married and hurry up and have babies, which is not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that neediness can cause you to feel rejected when you feel hurried and you go out to someone and you're like, oh, I like you, and you do like them, but then they reject you and you're like, oh wow, that sucks, I guess I'm not meant for the married life, you know, and you feel discouraged. So I think it's important to be around people who are very content with themselves, who want those things, but ultimately don't need it to feel fulfilled. I think they get that from God first, you know, and they just have a healthy relationship with, well, relationships. So I wrote a bunch of stuff on this topic of rejection. So I put 5 tips on this one. 1, breathe. Create a peaceful space where you can meditate and reflect. And if possible, number 2. Yeah, take a poop. What I meant was, you know, the second one. Number 2. Shift your perspective. If you're religious or spiritual, this might be more easy for you. If not, go inward and ask yourself, where's this overwhelming response and feeling of inadequacy coming from? 3, inner child work. When I was small, I did this without realizing. I was healing wounds that shouldn't have never healed yet. And I started to define myself on God and my own terms, and not assumed beliefs that others may have had of me. If you ever had to fight for a parent's attention to receive love or achieve something, we definitely have some inner work to do. And here, I talk often about how when I was little, I looked to God for fatherly advice and love. Often, I had a very good dad, but there are a lot of things, even parents, I think, who have their own personal experience, don't always know. And you know they love you, but ultimately, sometimes they don't have themselves what they are supposed to give to you. So I found that in God often. I suggest him, I recommend him highly. Prayer and surrender. So pray often. Humility opens the intellect. It really does. It opens the intellect to wisdom and guidance. And yeah. Okay. The devil will try to make you feel worthless, and at times send people to remind you. Don't listen. Pray and remember the promise God has given us. Rejection is redirection. That's number 4. A hard no is a heck yes. It's so true. I think a lot of people, especially in the spiritual life, well, they want something so badly and they don't get it. And they're like, why, God, why? And then suddenly something better comes along that's like crazy, like more better than their wildest dreams. And they're like, oh, that's why. Thank you. Okay. Try to see the humor in it. Okay, I think laughing is the best remedy for any heartbreak or any feelings of shame or whatever what we're going through. And then number 6 is, do you really want someone who doesn't want you? Because you deserve someone who's crazy about you. You do. Look at you. Oh, you're amazing. Beautiful, sexy, and smart. Beautiful, sexy, and smart. Don't give in to those feelings. Pray. Remember, if these feelings happen often, it could be time for change. Or you're chemically addicted. I can't read my own handwriting. It's in cursive. Meal to create better beliefs about like who you are, etc. Also, don't waste time on people you know aren't reciprocating or going out of their way to show interest or commitment. Create boundaries and trust your gut. Okay, next. Also, that's the same thing. Okay. Be at peace, my fluffy, adorable friends. Be at peace, my fluffy, adorable friends. Here's this video. I cannot talk. Every time I have like 2 words on my mind, and as soon as I say it, they both come out. somehow, and then none of it makes sense. I gotta work on that. Okay, peace out, my fluffy, adorable friends. I love you. Until next time, here's to growing and being the best, most authentic version of ourselves. And I wish you all the love and light, and peace out.
Okay, Raphael, come in. Doonch, doonch. Walk a little slower and more graceful. Just be serious about it. Be serious. You are a Victoria's Secret model. Doonch, 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 doonch. Walk past me, walk past me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.